That color. So as you guys can see, the 71 C10 project is back from paint and it looks amazing. This Ford Shelter green and the bright white lower is just awesome. This color, nothing I film right now is going to do it justice, because outside in the sun it is 10 times more insane than it is sitting inside under these lights. But let's go over it, see how it looks, see some of the little things that they put in, see where I am on it, because I have been working on it today, doing some preliminary stuff, and show you how it's coming together. All right, let's just start up here. Truck looks amazing. Also, ride height's got to come way up in the front. That's stuff we'll set later on, and I actually can't wait to get the wheels we have for it on there, but they're not going on until we get a little bit beyond where we are now, because we don't need them getting dirty or possibly scratched. But the trim work looks amazing. They gapped it and just painted it awesome. Everything on this I'm loving right now. They did a few things that I didn't know they were going to do. Boss Man knew, but I didn't. Mirrors and stuff are painted and over there. Those are going to go on at a later time too. So I ended up getting our Alumacraft taillights in, because we needed to get these installed in order to put the tailgate on, because these bolts are blocked by the latches or the pivot system that we have for this. It's not a stock style with your pivot down here and what do you call it, cables, or this would be the bar on as it is factory. Very few things on this truck are going to be factory, but they're going to come by and I'm going to give them a hand getting that on, because they've got to get that on, situate it, gap that whole deal. It was already gapped before paint, but they're going to make sure it's perfect for us. So you remember when I did the LSA, the frame is in this Ford Shelter green, but matte finish. I did not know they were going to do this. So they did the center of this whole body line in the matte finish all the way around, and then gloss everywhere else, and did the wheel tubs in matte, which is going to look awesome. This is going to be a wood bed. I believe we are doing, for the fill, instead of doing just a flip up whatever panel or even a hard mount panel to the bottom of the, or the top of the wood, Boss Man saw when he was in, I think it was his last time at Barrett Jackson, there's a company that makes an actuator that will take an entire wood slat that goes this length and kind of fold up and down, electrically actuated. So I think that's the way we're going on that, but don't set it in stone, because like almost everything else on this build, stuff changes, because there's been a whole bunch of changes already. Let's look at the engine bay, see what my engine looks like nestled in there. So watch this. Number one, when's the last time you saw somebody open a C10 hood with one hand? Ooh, baby. So these are March hood hinges, which we've got on a few builds. Let me go get a light. Oh, as I was saying, these are our March hood hinges. We've used them on quite a few builds. I like them. They work really nice and smooth. They hold the hood with no issue. And, ooh, there's my LSA. I think actually where I had it set is going to be where we keep it. Because if you look back here, I've got like 3/4 of an inch from the valve cover to the firewall. I believe I'm somewhere around that same measurement over here. I took the harness down. Let me put my light down on a place that's not painted. Took my harness down. I think I might be redoing it. We'll get into that in a second. But I think where the engine is sat right now is going to be its resting place. So once we get this on the lift, I can drill the plate down there that our transmission mount is going to sit on and fully mount our transmission mount. Also, so the whole radiator core support, inner fender wells, the firewall, the underneath of the hood, all got the same flat green treatment. It's just, it looks awesome. I love it. Let's see, where else? I already laid out my transmission dipstick. I got a different one from the one I had before, because the one I had before was too short. Now I just have to figure out my routing where I'm going to put it. So we have these two holes are the only two holes in the firewall on this side. And those are going to hold my vintage air bracket on the inside. And I believe I'm going to utilize those, one, the upper one to mount the fuel pressure regulator, the lower one to mount that transmission dipstick. So let's take a look at the inside. Oof, those Altman latches. Oh, I love those things, they're so good. So I've done a couple things already. Number one, I've kill matted, sound deadened everything we need to sound dead. I got inside the door, a little bit on the door here. So major difference. The importance of sound deadening for me is right up there with the quality of everything else on a build, because nothing is enjoyable about an awesome hot rod that sounds like a literal tin can going down the road. So because this one is not getting a headliner, we can't sound deaden the headliner, but door panels, dash, roof, back panels, all that also got the matte finish treatment. So I got all this done today. I didn't bring it all the way out here. There's no need. We just need to deaden, I'd say 90% of it, and that's what it is. I did not do all up here. This is getting a Schloss Tubbs. It's a real thing. Actually a kick-ass speaker box. We did one in McDreamy. Schloss Tubbs setup with twin square 10-inch kickers. And it literally, it's curved so it fits in here. It's beautiful. Just wait till you see it. And it needs all the room to be able to just kind of get in there snugly, and then it bolts in with the existing holes that were for when you had a gas tank back here. I also got our 3D printed mount in there with our Pioneer radio for the flush mount that we like to do. And once I got the sound deadening all in, I put down our seat bracket back in. I also, the sound deadening that goes up the firewall from that point up, I spray with either satin or flat black just to help it disappear. You'll get carpet, like, you know, at least up to here. And then some of these trucks we do the factory firewall cover there. Some of them we don't. This one's probably not going to get that just because we've got a lot of stuff to stuff up in here. So right here is the factory hole for the rear light wiring to go through. I was trying to figure out, I initially had tied up all my Terminator wiring to run it through a bulkhead here, and we were going to mount the Terminator wherever we had room under the dash here. I've since done a little perusing on some forums, and guys say that there is enough slack to run it on top of the transmission down and up through here and mount your ECM under the seat. So the ECM is going to mount on a bracket pretty much like this. So if you need to pop your head under there, you can to see your diagnostic lights, and it will hide all that wiring. So if you remember, we have bucket seats, center console. That's going to go right up to the Schloss Tubbs speaker setup. It's kind of designed to work that way with the TMI seats, and I can't wait for that. So, and that Schloss Tubbs speaker box holds the amp too, so we won't need to put an amp under the seat. Also threw in my Vintage Air side vents. We're going to get a vent to put underneath here because your factory vent that goes up here is now gone because of this radio setup, which is okay. Speakers, so what we're going to do, that Schloss Tub box has twin kicker, I think they're the K10s, I don't know, L7s, that's what they are, the square ones. 2 of those. And then on the edges of the boxes, we're going to put 2 4.5-inch speakers so you have some mid-range behind you. I believe we are talking to TMI to get a full dash that covers with vents, openings, and with a mesh for the speakers here as well. So we'll have 2 4.5-inch speakers, or 3.5, whatever the size is, that goes up here. And then I think we are also using kick panel speakers on this. We do not need to put an e-brake down there because we're using an e-stop electric brake that's going to mount under the frame. And I believe we're putting 6.5 two-way component speakers in there. And everything is going to get powered off of the Alpine 5-channel amp that's going to be mounted in the box back here. So, kind of psyched. It's coming together. But the paint just looks so good. I literally saw it outside real quick as they were dropping it off. But it is currently absolute bullcrap out right now, so that definitely ain't getting moved outside to get a look at it. But yeah, there she sits. So this big massive rake it has on it right now, rear suspension is at the height it's going to be at. We're going to lift the front up and get rid of that. We're going to have just a slight, maybe a ½ degree, maybe 1 degree of rake towards the front. I would love to slam this thing to the ground. The customer who is buying it now does not like it to be lowered that much, so that ride height is going to be where we're at in the rear. And I'm just doing small peripheral things that I can do until we can get it up on one of these lifts and I can find out if there is, which according to what I've seen online, there is enough room to run that harness down and underneath for the Terminator and up inside. Which means that I initially had them leave those 2 holes as the only ones in the firewall that didn't directly have a purpose, in case we needed those to run wires through for powertrain, fans, any of that stuff. Because if you remember, initially this was supposed to get the 496 big block, but the customer wanted a supercharged LS, because the 496 big block is how we were going to be building it for ourselves. Once this guy signed on to buy it, he decided, I want a LS. Okay. So every other hole we have here will be used. This is obviously brakes. This is power steering. That is my fuse block. And that is my extra one to pass any other wires I need to pass through for the wiring system. And that's it. I'll have to make a relay bank up here somewhere because we're going to need to do the 3 relay high-low speed for the fans. Going to need a relay setup for the heat exchanger pump. I have to mount the heat exchanger pump up here. And that's, once it's on the lift, that's the other thing I need to do is figure out if we're going to be mounting the battery under the cab or up here. Preferably under the cab, because that'll give me enough room to put a 2 or 3 gallon heat exchanger reservoir up here, because the more coolant you have in that, the better. We're going to have a big 4-core radiator and whatever fans. I kind of want to, I think I might convince the boss man to go pulse width modulated fans, just because I've got the Holly that can control them easy, and they'll be super quiet, super low, you know, switch on, amp drawer and all that stuff. And then we'll have the condenser here in the front for vintage air, and I have to figure out what style and kind of heat exchanger I want to do. We can either do a big one that goes all the way across that's thin, or a thicker one that only sits on this side right here. It just, the possibilities are endless. I just have to get to that point so I know how much room I have here and do all that out. Because we built to suit. We don't have a set, this is how we do them all. Because every one of them that we've done has been different. Different powertrains, different options, different this, different that. That one's a carbureted 306 with a T5 5-speed. This one's a supercharged LSA with a 4L65E. That one's a naturally aspirated LS3 with a 6L80. You can get a rough plan, but stuff changes. And we'll also need, obviously we need a coolant bottle overflow for your radiator. We'll need a power steering reservoir because this is a remote mount pump. But other than that, I think we're good. We're going to be running AC lines and heater lines through the wheel well here and up. They'll be hidden all the way up inside. So all cool stuff. And I can't wait for this to start coming together. because it's going to be kick-ass. So stay tuned. This is going to be a very sweet build, and I have no idea when it's going to be together and done. I just know we're going to do it little by little. So next time you see me, hopefully I'll be wiring, actually, throwing the whole harness in there and getting that run front to back. All right, I'll talk to you later.